Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived a little boy named Karim and his older sister, Alexa. They were both very close to each other and loved to spend their time playing and exploring the outdoors. They lived in a small cottage on the outskirts of town with their mother and a cat named Frog. One day, while playing outside, Karim and Alexa noticed that Frog was following them everywhere they went. Frog would jump around and play with them, and whenever they would sit down to take a break, Frog would curl up next to them and purr contentedly. Karim and Alexa loved Frog very much, and they often wondered why their cat was named Frog when it clearly wasn't a frog. They asked their mum about it, but all their mother would say was, "It's just a name, don't worry about it." However, the people in the town were always confused about how their cat was named Frog. They would often ask Karim and Alexa why they named their cat Frog, and the siblings would simply shrug and say, "We didn't name it, our mum did." One evening, as Karim and Alexa were getting ready for bed, they noticed that Frog was not in its usual spot next to them. They searched the house but couldn't find Frog anywhere. Worried, they ran outside to look for Frog. As they walked through the dark streets of the town, they heard a faint meowing sound coming from an alleyway. They followed the sound and found Frog stuck in a tree. Frog had climbed up the tree to catch a bird but couldn't get back down. Karim and Alexa knew they had to help Frog, but they didn't know how to get it down. They tried calling it down, but Frog wouldn't budge. They tried climbing the tree themselves, but it was too high. They were about to give up when they heard a soft voice behind them. "Need some help?" said a friendly voice. They turned around to see an old man standing behind them. The old man had a kind smile and gentle eyes that put them at ease. "Yes, please," said Karim. "Our cat is stuck in the tree, and we don't know how to get it down." The old man walked over to the tree and started to climb it. He climbed up effortlessly and reached for Frog. Frog meowed in relief and crawled onto the old man's shoulder. The old man climbed down the tree with Frog safely in his arms. Karim and Alexa were overjoyed to have Frog back, and they thanked the old man profusely. They asked him how he managed to climb the tree so easily. The old man smiled and said, "I used to climb trees like that when I was young. It's a skill that comes in handy sometimes." Karim and Alexa realized that they didn't even know the old man's name, so they asked him. "My name is Benjamin," he said, "but you can call me Ben." Karim and Alexa were grateful to Ben for rescuing Frog and started to walk back home with Frog in tow. As they walked, they noticed that Frog was purring contentedly and snuggling into their arms. "Isn't it strange that Frog likes us so much?" asked Alexa. Karim thought for a moment and said, "Maybe it's because we love Frog so much." Alexa nodded in agreement, and they both realized how much they loved Frog. Frog was more than just a pet. It was a member of their family, and they loved it unconditionally. They both decided to ask their mum why Frog was named Frog when it wasn't a frog. Their mum finally told them the story. "When we first got Frog, it was just a tiny kitten," their mother explained, "and I was trying to come up with a name for it, and we noticed that it would jump around and play just like a little frog. We thought it was funny and cute, so we decided to name it Frog." Karim and Alexa laughed at the story and realized that Frog's name didn't really matter. What mattered was how much they loved and cared for their furry friend. As they reached their cottage, they cuddled up with Frog and drifted off to sleep. They dreamt of all the adventures they would have with Frog and how much they would love it always. The next day, Karim and Alexa woke up to the sound of Frog meowing and playing outside. They ran outside and saw that Frog had caught a mouse and was playing with it. They realized that Frog was more than just a pet. It was a protector and a companion. It loved them unconditionally and would do anything to make them happy. Karim and Alexa spent the day playing with Frog, cuddling with it, and thanking it for all the love it had shown them. They also spent the day reflecting on how much they loved each other as siblings and how much their family meant to them. As the sun set and they prepared for bed, They cuddled up with Frog and thanked it for being such a wonderful friend. They whispered to it that they loved it and that it was a part of their family forever. From that day on, Karim and Alexa made sure that Frog was always a part of their adventures and that it knew how much they loved it. They also made sure to show each other how much they loved and cared for one another, just like Frog had shown them. As the years went by, Karim and Alexa grew up, but their love for Frog never faded. They still cuddled with it, played with it, and protected it, just like it had protected them. And the people in the town no longer questioned why their cat was named Frog. They knew that it was because Frog was more than just a cat. It was a symbol of love and friendship that Karim and Alexa had discovered. The end.